Hey everyone, so this is me on the left side and I'm having an interview with this guy on the right, but this video is actually the in-depth interview with this guy. If you haven't seen the short version yet, I would recommend that you watch that first because it's a great introduction, and then you can always come back to this one later. So here we're going to talk about the morality of drugs, the drugs themselves, ritualization, and some safety tips. And we're going to do this in the in-depth segment we call Down the Rabbit Hole.
Why do you have these drugs?
Because I want to try them. I've tried a lot of them, and because I'm really interested in their effects. Mm-hmm. I'm more into the whole psychedelic kind of thing lately. Because you have all different psychedelics. So you have the phenethylamines, like the 2CB, for example, which is also illegal, by the way. Mm-hmm. But you also have 2CC. You can go on almost indefinitely. Same with all the tryptamines. You have all these DMT analogs, like DPT. I have here, for example, or for ACO DMT, which is more like mushrooms, stuff like that. And the whole thing about LSD analogs, like LSD, 1P LSD, ethyl LAD.
So I've also heard that there's people not so much trying to circumvent the law, but also just trying to find new things, new drugs, basically. Yeah. Do you have an example of that?
Yeah, there's of course always people who are looking for a more optimized type of drug. I mean, they might like MDMA, but they want to have it last longer, for example. You mean this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Last longer or shorter.
Or shorter, yeah. For example, they might be looking for something else. For example, methoxetamine you can compare to ketamine a little bit, but it lasts 5 times as long.
Oh, wow.
It's also more trippy in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Or methadone, which looks like MDMA a bit, but it gives you more energy. Up to a certain, of course, in everybody's experience might be different, but in general it gives you more energy and it lasts a little bit shorter. 6-APB looks a bit like MDMA, but it also lasts longer. It's less intense, mm-hmm. in my experience. You can go on. You have, of course, all the different 2Cs. I mean, you perhaps like 2CB, but you think, it lasts too long for me or too short. And then you can also look into the other 2Cs. I mean, 2CI, for example, lasts 2 hours longer than 2CB, while 2CC lasts 1 or 2 hours shorter than 2CB.
And 20 years ago, it was basically very simple. There were let's say 10 types of drugs in general. Yeah. And now I believe last year there were 140. Here's the right number. I don't know. There were so many new types of drugs.
Yes.
That it's the floodgates are open.
Yeah.
And
of course.
This is the result.
Of course, yeah, but it's just also the research by Alexander Shulgin. Mm-hmm. He made all these lists of drugs. He just tried them. He just tweaked a little bit every molecule.
He already did that in the 70s.
60s, 70s, yeah. He already made a lot.
It's not even that new.
No. A lot of these things are already in those books.
It's just that it's nobody ever really talks about it.
No.
Yeah. So thank you. What is it?
This is like salvia.
Salvia. So
yeah,
you can just buy
sage.
Yeah, that's perfectly allowed.
You can buy it here in smart shops, just like kratom, which is also from a leaf.
Can you buy that in a smart shop?
Yeah.
Here in Amsterdam?
Yep.
Oh, that's so interesting.
But it also says not for consumption.
Oh, really?
It's just botanical specimen. Yeah, they also sold 2CB, like they used to.
They used to?
Yeah.
Yeah?
4FA sometimes also you could buy there under a different name and much more expensive.
DPT.
And this is dipropyl tryptamine.
Sounds like a hip hop group from the 90s.
Yeah. No, but it looks like DMT a bit. It's like its cousin, if you want to call it that. But it's actually a whole different drug altogether. Yeah. But it's the same family. There's also a church in America, the Church of Inner Light, I think, and they have this as their drug of choice, just like you have mescaline churches.
I see some pills here.
Yeah.
This is just ecstasy.
Yeah, this is MDMA.
MDMA. Yeah.
MDMA pills.
MDMA pills.
And so ecstasy. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not allowed.
No.
In Holland, you're allowed to have one with you. Then they won't fine you or whatever.
No.
They'll just take it away.
Yeah.
But then this would be illegal.
Yeah, this would be illegal to have on you.
Yeah. So this is
because I would count as being a dealer, although this is more of a collection thing.
Yeah, right.
These are a couple of different ones.
Yeah, it's more of like collecting stamps.
Yeah.
You don't really use them.
MDMA, haven't used for quite some time now.
It's a hobby.
Yeah. But in case friends of mine want it, I know these pills are good since I have tested them. And I can give them away. But for example, here we have some hash you can buy here in the coffee shops, also semi-legal.
Yeah, semi-legal. It's illegal to import. It's basically illegal until it's in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And when it's in a coffee shop, it's not prohibited. Let's call it that way.
But I think the problem is, of course, that we all, at least most of the laws are based on sort of morality, saying that you cannot do this with your body. For I don't know. That seems to be the bottom line most of the time. I mean. Like laws determine what you can put in your body or not. It's okay to put tobacco in your lungs. It's okay to drink some alcohol and get it into your brain, like get drunk. That's okay up to a certain limit. It's okay to, drive.
Well, this little corner over here comes from doctors.
Yeah.
And if you would just say like, hey, I don't feel that well, I have fears or whatever, anxiety, they would eagerly prescribe this to you.
Yeah.
But then if they don't do it to you, there's this whole bubble of morality, like you shouldn't take them because there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
But it says nothing about the legality, illegality, the morality, or
it seems kind of arbitrary.
Yeah.
Also, I'm interested in their effects, so to speak. Plus, sometimes I use these things to help me sleep after some drugs are really give you too much stimulation, or let's say I take this with me because a friend of mine, he wants to make a trip, but he's a bit anxious about it, but then we'll start low. But if he gets too anxious, this works, It's really functional also. There's really too many facets to it. And also, of course, you have the whole therapeutic elements. I mean, MDMA as well as 2CB, up to a bit, as well as LSD. I'm just mostly interested in the effects certain compounds give me, and not really into the whole legal, illegal thing. Because, for example, this is a really popular drug right now. It's called 4FA.
4FA?
Yeah, 4-fluoro
something that
amphetamine.
In Amsterdam, it's been catching on as a replacement of MDMA.
Yeah, really.
And is it legal? I mean, is it illegal?
Well,
that's a better question.
As far as I understand, it's like this. You can have it like at home or whatever in a bag, and it's not looking as you're going to consume it. But as soon as you put it in, for example, a capsule or whatever you're going to do it, and you have it on you, then it counts as a drug you have on you.
Yeah, so then you make it ready for consumption, and then it's illegal.
And that's illegal.
Even
probably.
The first time when I saw this, I was sort of impressed. I was like, holy Jesus, this is next level.
Well, it also depends what you're doing with them, I guess. I'm pretty sure it's that. Because, like I said, I'm just really interested in the effects, and the collection came into being in, let's say, 3 years or whatever, It's not like, all these drugs I wanted, I'm going to use it all. No, it's just, I always plan ahead, I'm going to try this, and perhaps then with some friends or whatever, and then write a little bit about it on the internet, since that's where I get almost all of my information from the internet. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of forums. There's a big community also with all these things, because some of them, they're really new and only a couple of people posted reports on them online. So I wait a bit until I see, okay, this is fine to use.
Yeah. But they have some form of responsibility for taking care of their citizens, let's call it that way. I mean, these citizens are free, but on the other hand, they have created a system in which so much risk is accepted, so to speak.
But on the other hand,
they look at you like, hey, just don't do this. Just stop your hobby and just don't do it. That will be a solution, I guess, for them.
Yeah.
But as we both know, because I know this subculture, and I don't have anywhere like this at home whatsoever. But you just know that this will keep on happening.
Of course, because people will always try and I don't know, expand their mind or narrow their mind. I mean, alcohol we can really work with in our society up to a point, because there's a ritual to it. We generally agree we don't take breakfast with 5 beers in the morning, right?
Yeah.
But we find that okay on Friday evening, because there's no more responsibilities then or whatever. You kind of think about when you're gonna drink, but
the kids are in bed, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, but the same goes for this. I'm not going to take, today I have to work, but I find work boring, so I'm going to take all of this. On the other hand, stuff like LSD, you can also easily ritualize yourself. I mean, you have some friends you always take LSD with. Okay, we're going to plan ahead. Next day we keep free. and we make it easy for ourselves, get some nice food, get some nice music, get a nice living room where no one will interrupt you, put your phone away. That's a ritual by itself. Yeah. And this way, 99% of all trips go well if you have this well prepared. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just made up that number, but like I haven't really heard people going bad, so to say, as people call bad trips, after they did the preparation really well.
Yeah. So if you prepare well and if you know what you're doing, then it should go okay. But the only thing is that in an illegal system where it's people like you, I mean, you've been to college, you like to read, in a system where everybody's knows what they're doing. But right now, I feel that the blanket ban on all of this has basically thrown everybody into the dark, and everybody just has to find out for themselves.
Because you can still get it.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem. I mean, it's illegal, okay, but MDMA is not hard to come by. And although in Holland, of course, we have some decent information on illegal substances. That's actually okay. You can get the
happy with how it goes here. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than
it's a lot better than in the rest of the world where there's no information. You can get the stuff, but you're not sure what it is. You can test it. I mean, that's where accidents come from.
Yeah. We're all ingrained with this idea that this has there's people that enjoy these substances, but they carry a risk, and you have to be very aware of the risk that they carry. Otherwise, bad things will happen.
Yes, preparation is everything. I mean, you can go on your bike through the mountains to go somewhere else, but it's considered really dangerous. It's also considered really dangerous to just buy a compound, don't do any research, think, oh, I will trip on this, and just put it up your nose, for example. A lot of people died that way. Yeah. It's really dumb. Yeah. That's why you should always do your research, check what it is, check how potent it is, get a proper scale, get it tested if necessary, and then you can use it if you have your safe environment. Yeah.
It's not something that anybody should just do.
No.
This is a study all by itself.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's a hobby. I put some time and effort in it, and a lot of my friends also sort of benefit from it in the sense that stuff I give them, they're pretty sure it's okay since I used it myself, I weighed it properly, I tell them what it does, I tell them what not to combine it with. Because if you like it but you know you can't handle it, just get small amounts, you know. If you want to do pills, okay, just get a couple of pills, that's it. Yeah. Don't have lots of stuff in your house because you know you're gonna take it at every point.
Yeah, some sort of
self-defense mechanism. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, don't get too much.
It's not for everyone. I mean.
Yeah, do you have a tip for the people watching at home?
In general?
Yeah, well, here.
For
example, get a scale.
Oh, get a scale. That's tip number one. If you're gonna get a proper scale, there's milligram scales already available for around $25 online. This one is pretty decent. You have to look for some reviews, but for its price class, it's the best. Yeah. Of course, a really decent one will cost you 300 to 400 euros.
Well, and also know which ones are lethal and which are not.
Lethal?
Yeah, I mean, this hash, for example, is not lethal.
Oh, yeah.
There's some LSD over there that's non-lethal.
Yeah.
But then others,
it depends.
If you eat this whole bag, you'll die.
You'll die, yeah. But it's all dose dependent. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna down 2 bottles of vodka, you'll die. Ideally, you can check it every once in a while with a proper weight. In this case, it's 4 FA. I usually take doses of about 150 milligrams. This is in grams, so 0.130 gram is 130 milligrams.
But you just know that this will keep on happening.
Of course, because people will always try and I don't know, expand their mind or narrow their mind or like, you know, the whole consciousness, the changing of consciousness thing. We've been doing that for thousands of years. I mean, but this is just, there's another way to say, oh, well, it's human nature or whatever. It's just, that's what people do. Yeah. I mean, there's a big demand for these kind of things. People want to trip. Okay, let them trip and make sure it's safe. And now it's our own responsibility. I'm trying to do my best here also, like explaining stuff and like contributing on the internet, which is a really great resource for these kind of things. Mm-hmm. But you have to know that some of these compounds are really new and we don't know the long-term effects yet.